Here's your story rewritten in a natural, conversational American English style like it's being told out loud by someone with a classic, clear American accent. Think neutral Midwestern, general American narration, easygoing but engaging, the way folks tell stories around a campfire or in a YouTube video. I've kept all the original meaning, drama, and details, but made the language flow more like spoken storytelling, shorter sentences where it fits. Everyday phrasing, contractions, and a warmer, more direct tone. Autumn 1883, Clearwater Valley. The first thing you'd notice about Amelia Thorne wasn't crying or mourning like everyone expected. From a new widow, no pit was the steady scrape of her shovel hitting dirt, and the sharp clink of stone on stone. From sunup to sundown, she was out there alone, digging straight into the granite hillside overlooking her husband's fresh grave. The few folks scattered across the valley floor watched from way off. There she was, one woman in a dusty work dress, face streaked with dirt, arms tough and roped with muscle, carving a big gash into that stubborn hill. Finally, Mr. Finch, her neighbor, couldn't take it anymore. He walked over one afternoon, looking all fatherly and worried. "Amelia, what in God's name are you doing?" he asked. Waving at the hole she was making, she stopped, wiped sweat off her forehead with a rough, raw-knuckled hand, glanced at the pit, then back at him. Home," she said, calm as anything. Finch barked a short, disbelieving laugh. "A home in the ground, that's a tomb. Woman, not a house. Damp's gonna seep into your bones, and the first hard rain will bring the whole hillside crashing down on you." Whispers were already flying around the little settlement. "She's lost her mind since Gregor died. She's trying to bury herself so she can be with him." People shook their heads, half pity, half grim satisfaction. They figured she'd gone crazy from grief, doing something pointless and downright dangerous. But they were dead wrong. What looked like madness to them was pure method. Dan old, buried kind of know-how rising up. They saw a grave being dug. Amelia Thorne was building an ark. And if you've ever wondered how something forgotten can save your life, when common sense falls flat, hang on. What happened next in that valley when the spring rains hit? It's a story you won't forget. Drop a comment where you watching from. Ever seen a building that works with nature instead of fighting it? Amelia didn't come up with this on her own. It was a gift from her husband, Gregor, the last and biggest one he left her. He wasn't from this frontier. He came from old mountains, older ways, a place where folks learned to live with heavy snow and the wild rush of spring melt. He was a stonemason, but not the regular kind who slapped together fireplaces and plain walls. Gregor spoke stone's language, its weight, its breath, the way it thirsted. Evenings before he got sick, he'd sketch in this beat-up leather notebook, not cabin pictures, diagrams of water flowing around and away from a foundation. "You don't fight the water," he'd tell her, finger tracing a line on the page. "You give it a better path. You invite it to leave." He talked about the earth like it was alive, a partner, not dead dirt to build on. "The ground holds winter's cold and summer's heat," he'd say, tapping a sketch of a house tucked into a hillside. "Why make walls fight the wind when you can borrow the hill itself? One big, quiet wall that soaks up your fires. Warmth long after the flames die." Then sickness took him fast and mean, left her with his tools, that notebook, and these strange, upside-down ideas. The neighbors saw his death as the thing that broke her. For Amelia, it lit a fire. His words went from poetry to survival plan. Every shovel of dirt she moved, she was reading the last chapter he never finished. She was building the home he only got to draw. Every stone she picked up, she weighed it, felt for the flat sides and solid core he taught her to find. This wasn't grief gone wild. It was a last conversation with the man she lost, proving his ideas right, keeping a piece of him breathing in a world that already forgot him. The valley saw a hole. Amelia saw Gregor's logic made real. As the place took shape, the pushback got louder, not just gossip anymore, straight-up arguments. The circuit preacher stopped by, all solemn, warning her she was tempting fate. "It ain't natural, Mrs. Thorne. Man's meant to live on the earth, not in it." Finch was more practical. One day he pointed at the long, twisty stovepipe she was burying in the thick stone wall. That flu's too long, too crooked, gonna clog with soot, smoke you out or burn the hill from the inside. She tried explaining Gregor's idea. The long path grabs every bit of heat from the smoke, warms the whole massive wall, turns the house into a slow, even heater. Finch just shook his head. Newfangled nonsense, the work was brutal. She dug a 3-foot wide, 4-foot deep trench all around the foundation. Folks couldn't figure it out. Then weeks hauling smooth creek stones to fill it. What's that for? One neighbor kid asked. Actually curious, it's a thirsty ditch, she said. Gives the water a drink before it reaches my walls. That was Gregor's French drain, the key piece nobody understood. Well, neighbors built on flat ground where water pulled and seeped in. She made an invisible shield to catch and reroute groundwater. Foundation straight on bedrock. Walls 2 feet thick, interlocking fieldstone levered in with raw strength, and a tripod hoist Gregor designed inside, small, maybe 400 square feet. Low arched roof of capstones angled to push pressure out into the hill, not down. To the valley. It looked primitive, animal-like. They're neat log cabins with square windows. This was a dark burrow. They couldn't see the physics, the genius in that thirsty ditch. Her hands, once good for needlework, now cracked, calloused, forever dirty. Back and shoulders ached every morning. From moving tons of rock, no help, no encouragement, just her, furious and alone against everyone's disapproval. But as the outer walls topped out, she started the inside, the part that'd make it a real home. Plastered walls smooth with clay, sand, lime mixed pale, light reflecting. Flagstone floor over sand and gravel for drainage and insulation. The heart of it, a small cast iron stove. Finch laughed at how tiny it was. That thing, won't he have this space? You'll freeze come frost. He didn't see the system. The stovepipe didn't shoot straight up, it snaked 12 feet horizontally through a big stone and clay bench along the wall, thermal mass radiator. Smoke gave up its heat to hundreds of pounds of stone before slipping out a short chimney. That bench became the heater, gentle, even warmed for hours after the fire died. Neighbors burned huge piles of wood, heat shooting up chimneys. Amelia's captured and held it. Elegant, efficient. To them, a dangerous mess. To her, Gregor's closed loop of logic. Late November brought the first real test. 3 days of cold, driving rain and howling north wind. Down in the settlement, it was war. Finch's wife hauled buckets for roof leaks. Wind screamed through log chinks. They huddled by a wood-eating fire, corners still freezing. Pattersons lost a third of their potatoes to a flooded root cellar. Amelia, she sat inside, listening. Wind was a far-off whisper. Rain drummed soft on the sod roof. No drafts, air still and warm. Small fire fed every few hours. Stone bench radiated steady heat. Bare feet on dry flagstone. Thirsty ditch doing its job. 4th day. Sun came out. Finch slogged up the muddy path, expecting to find her drowned or shivering. Instead, she was outside splitting wood, calm. You make it through all right? He asked, already sure the answer was no. Peaceful, she said. Simple truth. He peeked in. No puddles, no mess, just tidy warmth. Lucky break, he muttered, walking off. Spring melts the real test. Winter proved it. Her place stayed cozy with almost no wood. Neighbors burned stacks, earth insulated. Deep cold never got through. Thermal mass worked. The water was the true judge. That year's snowpack was massive. Old-timers saw those white mountain caps and grumbled. Thaw started late March, slow. Clearwater Creek swelled, turned muddy and fast. Mid-April, warm wet weather rolled in. Not a storm, a siege. Drizzle for a week straight. Ground soaked, creek bank full. Tense. Then downpour. Warm rain hit the high snow like a torch. Saturated valley below plus massive melt equals disaster. Creek became a river, logs and debris churning. Dread hung heavy. This wasn't normal. Amelia watched from her hill, her home, bone-dry island. Thirsty ditch gurgled, channeling pressure away. April 22nd night, the break. Rain turned biblical, roar like the sky was falling. Round 10 p.m., upstream groan, log jam burst. Wall of mud, trees, wreckage surged down. Clear water gone, just churning destruction. Pattersons barely made the loft as water smashed in. Preachers. Church lifted, carried off. Finch's place. Water rose fast, poured in, climbed walls. Grab blankets, go. They waded waist deep in black freezing current, fighting to higher ground. Heard their cabin crack and splinter behind them. Valley floor equals death trap. Rules erased. Finch's family clawed uphill, half blind, shaking, his boy pointed, Popro light. Through sheets of rain, faint yellow glow, Amelia's window. Impossible, they stumbled toward it. Finch pounded the thick door. Amelia, help us. Bar scraped. Door opened, lantern in her hand, warm, dry air rushed out. Clean flagstone. Crackling fire, steaming kettle, stone bench glowing heat. Pocket of peace in hell. No surprise on her face, just tired kindness. Get inside, all of you. Get warm. Martha hustled the kids to the bench. Finch stood frozen, water pulling at his feet, staring from the calm room to the roaring black outside where his home used to be. The tomb had become the ark. Madness had become the only sane thing left. Dawn showed ruin. Valley floor, mud, debris. Broken homes, Patterson's alive, snagged miles downstream, others weren't, settlement gone. But up high, Amelia's shelter untouched. Survivors climbed to the only dry place left. She took them in food, warmth, space. Questions came. How's it dry? How's it warm with that little fire? Finch, humbled, asked straight. Amelia, teach us. We can't rebuild the old way. It'll just wash away again. She showed him, sod roof crown to shed water, dug to reveal the thirsty ditch. It's not the walls that keep you dry, it's the path you give the water. Long flew in the bench, drew it in dirt. Interlocked stones using gravity and friction, not tricks, a whole system, working with the land. Rebuilding started different, homes higher on slopes, backs to hillsides, stone, Finch first. Under her guidance, then others, clink of stone on. Stone again, but now a community learning, years on. Clearwater never got big, but it got tough. Hillside homes became the signature grass roofs, looking like part of the land. Warm winters, cool summers, flood-proof. Amelia stayed quiet in her hand-built home, respected, a little mysterious. Gregor's legacy turned into valley common sense, the flood and the widow's ark, local legend. Parable for kids, listen to the land, we're still relearning it. Today we call it passive design. Earth-sheltered building, geothermal insulation. Fancy models and materials do what she did with fieldstone, clay, and old wisdom. Thirsty ditch equals French drain. Thermal bench equals energy-efficient core idea. Point stays the same. Best fixes aren't fighting harder. They're redirecting smarter, cooperating. Amelia Thorne's story isn't just survival. It's proof. Sometimes the most forward idea is the oldest truth, buried in the dirt. Waiting. True strength, not standing against the storm. Building so smart the storm never even notices you're there.